All right. Well, thank you so much, Ricky. Welcome to everyone. What a day it's starting out to be. I can't tell you how happy I am today to welcome you to the NASA Exploration Science Forum, which is being held jointly this year with the European Lunar Symposium. It fundamentally now space exploration is an international endeavor, and I think that it's particularly appropriate that we're holding this jointly with our European partners. And in just a few minutes, my co-chair Mahesh Anand will say a few words of welcome as well. Like I say, what a day it's already started out to be. Less than an hour ago, we saw the successful launch and landing of the Blue Origin New Shepard spacecraft. This was a little over 60 years after Alan Shepard's historic flight. And so this means a lot, I think, not just to our community, but to the world. It's way more than billionaires going to space. It's a fundamental change in the way we're going to be doing space. I was particularly touched, as I know so many of you are, by Wally Funk finally getting her historical due and flying aboard this spacecraft. And from the audio that I heard, she was very excited indeed. She, of course, was a member of the Mercury 13 that never did get to their flight in space aboard Mercury, but she got hers today. How wonderful that is. This harkens a new era in space, and one that our community is going to be taking full advantage of and going forward to the moon. You're going to be hearing about that in a number of talks during this conference. So very, very exciting. I should note as well that today is the 52nd anniversary of the landing of Apollo 11 as well, something that has touched all of our lives, whether we were there to experience it or not. So it's really an honor to bring you the biggest forum yet. We have a record number of abstracts. We got 250 abstracts, which was half again as much as our previous record. We also have a record number of registrations, well over 600. So I'm just so pleased that all of you are going to be able to join us for what I know is going to be a very exciting meeting. You've seen the announcements. I will be sending you out a set of announcements every day. Sent one last night. We'll send another one today, and we'll send them each day so that we can minimize the number of things that I have to say at the beginning of the day, and so that you'll all be clued into the many exciting things that are going to be happening. And those are going to be posted on the website as well. But just to highlight a couple of things, first of all, as you all know, I believe, we're doing our posters via GatherTown. And this is something that I will admit that I did not have previous familiarity with. My deputy, Christina Gibbs, who I'd like to acknowledge, who was responsible for so much of this forum, she had done this before, spoke highly of it, and I have learned it myself. And it's a very easy and fun way of navigating around to the various posters and various other things that we're going to be holding through GatherTown. I should note that our very capable IT team has put an Easter egg, actually several Easter eggs there. I won't tell you what they are. You have to find them yourself. So through GatherTown, we are also going to be having office hours. We're really honored to have a number of people from NASA headquarters, both from Human Exploration and the Science Mission Directorate joining us for these office hours. We also have people from the European Space Agency, from the Lunar Surface Innovation Consortium, and from CERVI. Christina and I will also have office hours. So I hope you feel free to join us there and just ask us any questions you might have. We have networking opportunities as well. And then one other thing that I really want to highlight, which we started last year, is, and I'll talk about in just a second, is that we have a set of plenary equity, diversity, and inclusion talks. So that brings me to the organizing principles for this conference. We want to bring you, first of all, the best science we can in the best way we can do it. And that's number one. Number two is connecting people as best we can virtually. We are close to 18 months into this pandemic right now. I hope that we're seeing the end of it in sight, but we've all had various difficulties that have hit all of us, and in particular, we haven't been able to connect with our friends and colleagues in the community, and so we're trying our best to help you do that. And then the next one is creating opportunities for the next generation. And I would say that arguably the next generation has been hit disproportionately with through the pandemic, and I think that we really owe it to those who will be the next leaders sooner than we think, to create the opportunities we can. And so we've done things like having next generation co-chairs for all of our sessions and other things. And then one other organizing principle that I want to really highlight is equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. And you see an interpreter next to me, which I'm very happy to have her join us. And thank you. And so what this says is that I think, to me, our priorities with Survey, our priorities with the community, that bringing in a more inclusive approach, bringing in a broader swath of the populace, both in the United States and the rest of the world, is as important as anything else we're doing. And I have a vision for a broader community that we can all work together to help create. So with that, I would like to introduce my conference co-chair, Mahesh Anand. And in manner of introduction, Mahesh and I first met 13 years ago at our very first event, which we called the Lunar Science Conference back in those days. And this meeting led to a partnership between then the NASA Lunar Science Institute, now Survey, and the United Kingdom, but also a vigorous partnership between NASA and the Europeans, focused on all the great things that we do. Mahesh is a noted lunar scientist and a leader of the community, and he's based at Open University. So Mahesh, please.
Thank you very much, Greg. So what a wonderful introduction you have given, and I'm just so proud to be here with you all. It's a good day to everyone, wherever you are joining us. I hope you can hear me okay. First of all, I just wanted to thank Survey, especially Greg and Christina, because they were the one who actually entertained my idea when I proposed that for this year, would it be possible to combine the European Lunar Symposium with the NASA Exploration Science Forum. Because what I felt that because of the ongoing pandemic, we weren't able to meet in person, but also we were getting a bit tired, if I may say so, of too many conferences to regularly. So what we thought was, can we actually try something different? And I'm so pleased to see that actually, that has resulted into what you are going to see over the next 4 days. And I also would like to acknowledge the two co-chairs of the Science Organizing Committee, Caroline Wonder-Bogart and Parvati Prem. I think they have just done a Herculean job in really putting together this program from all aspects. So I think, let me not forget to thank them. I can't thank them enough. And together with Christina Gibbs, I think they have given both Greg and I plenty, to take off our shoulders. And then we just knew that this was all going to work out. So I'm absolutely delighted and I'm really proud to see how this has evolved. And I do hope that you really enjoy this meeting, which Greg has already pointed out. It is very much about the science, but it's not just about the science. It's about bringing communities together and bringing communities together in a very inclusive way so that nobody is left behind. And I think as we go forward and we get over this pandemic, when we restart some of the in-person meetings, I hope that some of the good lessons that we are learning along the way, we will not forget those. And we will actually introduce them in our day-to-day lives. And that's the only way to make real progress in the society, in my view. So, with all that, I think the only other thing I wanted to say is I'm simply a mouthpiece here for the European community. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the PIs of the other European survey nodes who obviously can't be here. But it is something that we have built together with NLSI now survey. And this would have been the 9th European Lunar Symposium had it taken place in person. Last year, it was going to take place in Padua, and at a very short notice, we turned it into a very successful online meeting. And if I'm not wrong, that was probably the very first online meeting for planetary science community. And this year, I think we are trailblazing a completely different way of organizing conferences and meetings. And I do hope sincerely that next year we would be able to welcome many of you in person, in Italy, in Padua, and fingers crossed that we can get over this pandemic. But nonetheless, as I said, we will still try to implement all of the lessons that we are learning through this conference to make it even better in future years.